Imagine this. You are not the person you believe yourself to be. You have a tenant living in the dark quarters of your mind, a shadow self that takes possession of you at the slightest provocation. Your hands clench, your vision tunnels, and a wave of heat crashes through your chest. This isn't a malfunction. It is a message written in a primal, urgent code. What if your anger, that force you've been taught to suppress, to feel ashamed of, is not your enemy at all? What if it is the most honest part of you, screaming to be heard? We exile our rage, labeling it a toxic flaw. We meditate it away, breathe through it, smile politely while it boils our blood from within. But here is the unsettling paradox. The very feeling we bury to maintain peace is the one carving caverns of resentment inside us. It becomes a ghost in the machine, haunting our relationships, our silence, our passive-aggressive compromises. What profound truth is it trying to convey that you are so desperately refusing to hear? This is not a lecture on control. This is an excavation. We are going to descend into the furnace of that feeling to translate its raw, screaming language. We will discover that your anger is not a breakdown of your humanity, but a vital signal flare from your deepest self, and ignoring it is the very act that ensures your destruction. The first step is the most terrifying. You must listen to the monster. Your civilized self sees a beast. Your deeper self sees a sentry. The problem is not the signal, but our catastrophic misdiagnosis of it, a cultural and psychological conspiracy to silence our most potent truth teller. We pathologize righteous fury as instability, confuse boundary setting with conflict, and mistake the suppression of anger for peace. But this is not peace. This is anesthesia. As Carl Jung warned, what you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. The anger you disown doesn't vanish. It coalesces into your shadow, a reservoir of undifferentiated rage that poisons your subconscious and leaks out as cynicism, chronic fatigue, or inexplicable self-sabotage. Philosophers have long understood this civil war within. Friedrich Nietzsche saw in suppressed anger the source of resentment, the poisonous, covert vengeance of the powerless. Meanwhile, Viktor Frankl, from the depths of Auschwitz, observed that the last of human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, implying that our response to injustice, including our anger, is a fundamental act of meaning. Society, however, conditions you to be a manageable cog, not a sovereign self. It teaches you to fear the fire within, because that fire is what would burn down the cages you've learned to tolerate. You have been taught to fear your own power. The consequence of this disconnection is a life half-lived, a voice muted, a boundary perpetually crossed. But what is the ultimate cost of this silent surrender? The fallout is more insidious and far more personal than you have ever dared to imagine. If this exploration of your hidden self resonates, subscribe. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that seeks not just to inform, but to transform. The fallout is not a dramatic explosion, but a silent, internal collapse. This disowned anger metastasizes. It rewires your nervous system into a state of perpetual, low-grade threat, flooding your body with cortisol until inflammation becomes your baseline and fatigue your normal. Neurologically, you strengthen the pathways of suppression, making helplessness a default setting. But the true consequence is existential. You become a stranger to yourself. You feel a vague, persistent emptiness because you have severed contact with a core part of your identity. Your unexpressed anger turns inward, becoming the harshest critic in your mind, the source of that inexplicable shame after you've been wronged, yet said nothing. Culturally, this mass disconnection creates what Aldous Huxley foresaw, a society of contented prisoners, pacified by comfort and the illusion of harmony, too numb to revolt against the subtle injustices that confine them. Your unspoken rage doesn't just harm you. It enables everything from toxic relationships to systemic oppression, because the good people, armed with righteous fire, have learned to extinguish their own flame. You pay for this false peace with your vitality, your clarity, and your voice. The world becomes a blurrier, more oppressive place because you have agreed to not see clearly, not react honestly. But this is not your fate. This is a conditioned reflex. And every reflex, no matter how deep, can be unlearned. What would it look like to rebel against this deepest of conditionings? To not just hear the sentry, but to finally, courageously, answer its call? The rebellion begins with a radical, counterintuitive ceasefire. You must invite the monster to speak. This is not an act of unleashing chaos, but of supreme sovereignty. Your first act of defiance is to stop judging the heat in your chest, and instead, with terrifying curiosity, ask it, what are you here to protect? You will discover it is not a destroyer, but a guardian. That flash of rage when your time is disrespected, it is the guardian of your finite life. The simmering fury at a broken promise, it is the guardian of your trust, your dignity. The ancient, unspoken wrath toward a childhood injustice, it is the guardian of your inner child. This is the alchemy Jean-Paul Sartre pointed toward when he wrote, "Freedom is what you do with what has been done to you." You do not control the signal, but you hold absolute authority over the response. The mindset shift is this: your anger is not a command to act out, but a sacred data point urging you to act in alignment. It is intelligence, not instruction. To break free, you must learn its language, to differentiate between the shallow sting of wounded pride and the deep, resonant gong of a violated core value. This is how you reclaim the energy currently spent on suppression and convert it into unwavering conviction. You move from being a hostage of the feeling to the interpreter of its message. And in that translation, you will uncover not just boundaries, but the very architecture of your authentic self. But this leads to one final, staggering realization. What if this guardian's ultimate purpose is not to build walls, but to show you something you have been blind to your entire life? The ultimate truth is this: your anger is not a guardian of your boundaries, but a revealer of your deepest loves. The intensity of your rage is a direct reflection of the depth of your care. You are only truly enraged by that which threatens what you hold sacred. Your fury at betrayal reveals your sacred value of loyalty. Your anger at injustice reveals your sacred love for fairness. Your simmering resentment over neglected dreams reveals your sacred love for your own unlived potential. The fire is not a separate entity to manage. It is the heat of your own soul, protesting where it is being forced to live in the cold. This is the paradigm shift. Your anger is the shadow cast by your own light. To hate it is to hate your capacity for devotion. To silence it is to deafen yourself to your own moral compass and creative force. The final rebellion is to faint it, to see that searing emotion not as a flaw in your peace, but as the unwavering voice of your integrity saying, "This matters. You matter. You matter." It is the proof you are not numb, not dead, not resigned. You are alive and you care fiercely. Let that truth haunt you. Let it inspire you. Let it compel you to stop asking, "How do I get rid of this?" and start asking the only question that matters. What in my heart is so precious that its violation ignites a sun? Your answer is who you are. Now, go build a world worthy of that fire. If this final truth has rekindled something in you, subscribe for more journeys into the heart of who you are. Let us know in the comments what your anger has revealed about what you truly love.